Everybody, or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. So happy to have you again with us for our Facebook Live session here at Select Sires. We're at VerBeek in Pennsylvania, and myself in Wisconsin, Kevin Jorgensen. Always a pleasure to visit with you about the highlights of this week's Sire summaries. The greatest news I can tell you is it's a Sire analyst's dream to have a week like this. Nothing but good news to report. Only those few that see the world as only glass half empty could think that this week was not just a fantastic week. As we went into the beginning of the week here, Tuesday morning, about 6 o'clock, that data first starts coming in. And I just go down to the last top 100 TPI list and all of a sudden looked at Trooper. Yep, he had a good day. Rupert, he had a good day. Lionel went up slightly. Parfit's in his spot. All of a sudden, one of my clients called and said, "Hey, Payload must have had a really good day." And I looked him up and I was like, "Holy shnikes, this bull is at the top of the charts." So literally, anything that happened was due to daughter data, daughter change, very stable in the industry, about a 2 TPI point, 2 net merit difference in the industry. So anything that we saw was not any surprises, had some great news, both like Matt Crest Gordy went up almost 100 TPI points. So it was all really, really good news this week. And that's, like I say, a dream for us as we spend our week going through the data. In addition to that, as the week went on, it looks even better. And we're going to share some of that stuff with you today. You'll notice that we talk and we've visited about this several times in the last few sessions is, our core philosophy at the moment is HHP. In this less heifer inventory world, we feel like additional emphasis on fitness traits like mastitis resistance, overall cow health is just something that we've got to put some emphasis on to get cows to live longer. And so you'll see us talk a lot about this today because we truly feel like this is our direction and our future. But where I want to start today, folks, is as I was going through this week and looking at Renegade and looked at his release date. This is a significant milestone this week, and that is NextGen has been in place for 5 years. It was April of 2019 because Renegade was one of those first bulls that was released in the program. And so I think it's significant that we've been a half a decade into this program. We've got well over 1,000 members in over 20 countries globally, growing by the day, several of them this week, and I'll explain in a moment on a bull that's going to bring in a lot more next-gen memberships. But well over 1.5 million units. It is truly a success story of what we've done. And maybe the best part about NextGen is the fact that it was a farmer-led direction through our Sire committee. Those members on that committee saying, "Guys, can we bring these bulls to the market a little bit sooner? We know that we don't have anything high enough for you guys in Sire development, but could we get these bulls to the market sooner?" And the program has accomplished that goal. NextGen bulls come to the market about 9 months sooner than they did 5 years ago when they were out in only sex form and some of the things that we were doing before that, because it is capitalism and it is competition, and we do need to be able to protect our genetic material and yet still be a marketing company and still be a cooperative. And I think this program has accomplished all those goals. And so there's a quote here from Denton Ross, at Arizona Dairy Good Friends, said they enrolled in the NextGen program to secure early access to the best bulls. And I think that's what it's doing, and that's what it's done. But the other reason that I thought it's a good time to talk about NextGen and start with it is these two bulls here right on the screen truly are generational sires. Talked about Renegade a moment ago, and you're going to hear all about him today through his sons, grandsons, now great-grandsons. The influence of this bull is simply amazing. This is a picture that HI took of the bull just last fall at Expo time. Looks great. And then Game Day isn't on that list I just showed you, the top 100 TPI bulls, because he is no longer with us. He'd be number 2. And his influence is going to continue to grow, and you're going to hear a lot about him today. This cow family continues to make it into a lot of the bulls we're talking about. So they are kind of the anchors of this next gen success. Then you look at Renegade's two of his most influential sons that entered next gen in Perfect and Conway. And again, their influence is absolutely massive and in all positive ways. Perfect, perhaps one of the most balanced bulls that has been created in quite some time. Conway was the best Renegade son for sons. And we're beginning to see those, and Rick's going to talk about some of those that came out of his area by bulls like Letchworth that are going to do great. And then more recently, Crusher graduated in December. He's a top 30 TPI bull. His influence has been pretty large, especially on the maternal side of some pedigrees. And then a new graduate this time here in April in 250H15 513 Elon. And I encourage you to look at him. Rick and I have been out this winter seeing cows. We're at Oakfield Corners, one after another. Really an exciting young bull to be a new graduate to the program, top 100 TPI bull. So there's a lot of success in this next gen program. So we're going to start out with these next gen bulls today. And Rick, you got a couple to start with that are pretty amazing.
Yeah, Kevin, and certainly glad to be with you all once again to share some exciting news from Proof Week. And as we focus on the next gen and some new bulls released, I think we're going to talk a little bit about family matters as we go throughout the presentation here today. And two bulls from the same cow family from Ladies Manor that are going to have a big impact. First being this Oh My bull. I think appropriately named for those of us old enough to remember Dick Enberg. In his famous call line and some sporting events when something special and great would happen, his expression was always, oh my. And when we got the genomic evaluation on this young bull, that was my first reaction, featuring the O name and oh my, how high he was and how high he maintains himself today. Huge dollar value bull with 1371 net merit, 1400 HHP dollars. Extremely elite in that respect, in the top 3 or 4 bulls for those two indexes here today. An elite net merit bull, extraordinary production bull at 210 CFP or 219 CFP, 88 pounds of protein, 2,200 pounds of milk, and yet 1.5 on udder composite, and just outstanding all around balance and symmetry, high wide rear udders and strong fore udders. So a bullet we've used quite extensively as a mating sire, Kevin. Tremendous mastitis resistance. When you get that kind of protein with that kind of mastitis resistance, it's quite rare.
Doesn't happen every day, does it?
Those two traits are very antagonistic, and so to get a breed leader in both categories simultaneously really is going to bode well for the future of what we need in terms of sustainability and long-lived cows and healthy kind of cows. So Oh My leads us off here today with an exciting new bull into the next gen program. Follow up with another bull from the same cow family, a Letchworth son, O Direct. You alluded to, Kevin, to the influence at game day and what a great day he had. And we see that the positive reverberations throughout our lineup today. And these first two bulls certainly exemplify that. Letchworth, we talked about. I don't think it's any mystery as to how I feel or we feel about Letchworth and what he has done. We'll talk a little bit more in depth on that cow family in particular as we go a little later in the presentation. But O Direct, a bull that's, as you talked about, 15, 16 months old, just getting started. We did not use this bull very heavily as a mating sire because he took a really nice jump this time, going up almost 50 TPI and 40 net merit and cheese merit dollars. But a sire father level bull, without a doubt, high percent fat and protein bull, 2 on tight, 2 on udders. Again, that same extreme mastitis resistant and low somatic cell. You can see a beautiful balanced bull there. His dam is 86 points as a 2-year-old. The next dam is the Granadoom cow. So I think 2 really nice, solid new releases in next gen, breed leading, breed changing kind of bulls that are reflective of what next gen offers.
Absolutely. And the next bull, probably besides Oh My, has been the heaviest use sire father that I've used the last several months. 7/8/16 735 Carl. A Hayek son, which again, he being sired by Taos. Taos had a good day. Game day had a good day. This bull looked great before. He looks exceptional now. just in every single index. He's a rock star. TPI, net merit, HHP, 199 pounds of combined fat and protein, and then plus on DPR, and then exceptional mastitis resistance. Again, you put all those together in one package. It's hard to find a hole in this bull, and rightfully so. Its type values are really solid. He's got a right to be this way. His mother is pictured there. She's 86. She's due back. She's right down the road here from my house down at Berry Ridge Dairy in Wanakee. 86 is a 2-year-old, been a favorite of many of the early people that wanted to see Game Day Daughters last summer when she was just fresh. She wowed everybody. She's, like I say, developing nicely, going to calve again here this summer. Additional calves going to be born by her in the next several months. So when you have a bull like this, and that cow also a huge influence, there's going to be a couple more brothers to this bull coming out. When I look at balance, I see this bull. He does everything that most producers are asking for today, and he does it in a really appealing package. And I will say this, the bull himself, I just saw him in Ohio. What a pretty calf that he is. He's good in the picture. He's better in person, and just an exciting bull. And goes back, ironically, the part that I like about this bull, Rick, is his granddam was bred by our colleague, Mr. Kurnt. She was a Pinnacle daughter behind that legacy, and then goes back to the Larcrest Cosmopolitan cow family. So Biggs Bucks strikes again, and his influence in the program, both as a breeder and as an art program manager. But really neat bull here in Carl. Also from the SSI program, 7H16 866 Humo, an overdue son that again clicks every single one of these boxes. TPI, net merit. He's in the top 20 TPI sires at 32.45 that are available. Ranks high in HHP. 202 pounds of combined fat and protein. Those really high fat values, double-digit components. And then again, mastitis resistance grows, so he clicks all those boxes as well. This bull, again, just a great young cow that Humo is out of. I'll show you that in a moment. Then Renegade Daughter, then the Blowtorch, who is the mother of Game Day, and then back to Yoder, Enco Yoder, and we're going to talk a lot about this cow today, all the way through the presentation, because that's Game Day's granddam, and her influence is massive through a multitude of different cow families. But Jordan just sent me this picture this morning. Humo's dam is just fresh for the second time, so that's her just out in her own element, doing well, beautiful udder, exactly what you and I continue to see in all these Game Day sons. So I think it's pretty exciting within that group of next-gen sires.
Well, another exciting new release is Aurora Clearview 14H17012. So this is a bull directly from the Letchworth cow family. We talked about Letchworth a little bit on the Ladies Manor bull. This is another bull that we talk about the positive influence of Game Day and how it reverberated through our program. So sired by Khan, a Game Day son. Here's another bull that from his December proof till now went up 60 points for over $40 in a bull. It really just becomes crystallized and clear as to an elite bull, a bull we did not use a lot as a mating sire. We will now, but at 1300 DWP and 1369 HHP at 3200 TPI, let's call them 1300 net merit today. Bullet checks all those boxes. A big CFP bull, and yet 1.5 on udder composite. He's a bull. When you really dig into the numbers, we talk and hear a lot about people wanting the strength and stature ratio to be such that there's more, higher strength number than stature. And while this bull has that ratio, and then if you look at rump width, it's even better. So he kind of is very reflective of what I see in the pedigree. I love the cow family behind this bull, and that's what gives me so much confidence in all of this Aurora blood. But his dam, the Parfect 23.719 was one of, if not the highest TPI heifer in the breed for quite a while. She is now fresh. She just went 85 with 86-point mammary system. The Rapid dam is now fresh a second time after an extended period. She is now 85, and the Grand Dam just went excellent 90 this week. The fourth dam is also 92, and she's still in the herd. So 4 direct dams of this bull, still milking, still performing at a high level up at Aurora Ridge. Just an added little tidbit of information on this bull, and part of why I'm so excited about what he offers us. You're going to see a lot more about on this cow family as we move forward. We've got actually 7 sons from the Parfect in our program. Clearview happens to be the first, and we're off to a really good start with what she's going to contribute to us here in the next gen program.
Well, and another bull that just clicks every box, had a great day, and sired by Letchworth as you go into Clearview in that cow family. So you got 4 generations on the top, milking on the top side through Letchworth, and on the bottom side in 7H 17095 jackhammer, you got an excellent mother already in second lactation, pictured there on the screen here. This bull, different enough, unique, great cow family. Behind this is excellent Zazzle, is a Tahiti daughter that was 83, then an 87 Yoder, then an 88 Headliner. Multiple bulls in AI from this family, and Mike Santos is a bull again. Every single index, he's a rock star. TPI, net merit, HHP. He's a bull again we've used very heavily as a sire fodder. Very excited about what this bull can do. Great individual again in his own right, but 77 pounds of protein. Again, we think that that's just, we need to always be looking at double-digit components these days. 200 pounds of CFP is just a marvelous level to be at. The bull meets the Robot Pro designation, so I think there's a lot of opportunities where this bull can get used. He just doesn't have a hole in him. He's been very easy to use as a sire fodder, and so as I look at this bull, I think he's quite easy to use. Same thing for 250H 17118 Shatek. He's a Letchworth son again, out of a Parfect that's a sister to Frostbite, and then Lionel 13196 up at T-Spurs, finished her first lactation, continues to make calves on a very regular basis, incredibly influential cow, and then back to the Ramos Jellies at Coin Farms. But again, 3225, this bull, he's the 26th high genomic young bull available at 3225, 1268 on HHP, 200 CFP, and plus DPR. To me, I think that's really significant that you can get positive daughter fertility, fertility index, CCR, HCR in one package, and then still not have to sacrifice on those production traits. Other nice part about Shatek is he's A2 and he's BB. So again, another bull that should fit well for the robot herds and looks great. So you said a moment ago, mothers matter, Rick, and this was our theme for Showcase last year. It doesn't have to only fit for Showcase. I think it can fit in any, it's a core philosophy of this whole program. But we're going to move to Showcase earlier today than normal, and there's a reason. And that is that we're into Showcase now, but we're not out of next gen. We've got a bull here that the phone has been crowing for weeks and weeks and weeks of when is Holy P going to be available. Well, this week he is. 7H17158 Seamers Holy P, the Figaro son out of one of the great cows that I have the pleasure to work with, Luster 33317. Let's just call her the Swiss Army knife. You can do anything with this cow and she performs. She makes pulled, she makes red factored. We've done this cow to so many different combinations and it always seems to come out with a positive result. So here we've got a bull that's a breed leader for type at 3.55. That's why he's showcased. High udder composite, 161 pounds of combined fat and protein. Mastitis resistance pro, great mastitis values, solid in his calf wellness traits, A2, and by the way, he's pulled. So you talk about a game-changing bull in the industry to bring this pulled light, and we're kind of hitting the pulled revolution. And you're going to see us talk about several pulled bulls here today, and it's for good reason, because we've been able to move the needle through Aurora Ridge and through Seamers and through Penn England and our key partners that can keep making us bulls that have moved this into not just a novelty, but a way to create bulls that compete with the best. And Holy P certainly is going to do that. He has a brother that is not in next gen, but I think one of the most interesting bulls in Showcase right now. Hallian P, 7H17162. He's a mastitis resistance Pro Bull as well. He's a Pazel brother out of Luster 317. And when I look at this bull, to me, he's one of the most unique bulls in the sense that Seamers obviously have a very successful program, and have had a great relationship with them for almost 4 decades, since Dan and I were in college. And they've had some great cow families. But in the genomic era, there's been 3 families that have come to the forefront. Man Raz, the P family, Lambda Paris, and Mogul Hanker. This bull combines all 3 of those cow families, because you've got Pazel on the top side, and this is one of the earliest Pazel sons available. So that brings in Rosline as a sire in Lambda Paris, and then the Hankers on the bottom side of this pedigree. So at 3.27 on type A2A2BB in his casings, I think this bull, and especially as everybody's crowing about the Pazel heifers and how good they are, and they are hitting very well, winning calf out at New York Spring Show last week, I think a very interesting bull. But when we put families together, they don't always have to come from the same farm. And the bull you're going to talk about, Rick, we can circle back to Ladies Manor and Lambda Paris.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, you said 4 decades, and I can say this because we're the same age, but you're getting old.
Absolutely. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have divulged all that.
But no, 250H16981 Prospect, and you took a shot at Mr. Current earlier. We have the microphone, so I guess I thought our colleague had an Ivy League education, but he sure has trouble spelling with Parfect instead of perfect and prospect instead of prospect. I don't know. Maybe there's a method to the madness, but nevertheless, this is a nice bull. 1,000 of milk, almost 1,100 of milk. Call it 1,200 of milk if we're marketing and rounding up. 3 points on type, over 3 on udder composite, big CFP, still positive on DPR. An overdue son out of the Lambda Paris. You know Parfect. We're going to talk about Parsley. Pazel. So it's a bull from the same cow family with the same characteristics that have been so successful for several years now. And this is just another edition of a bull cut from the same mold that I think can expect a lot of the same things coming out of Prospect as we move forward on this Lambda Paris cow family.
Another of the showcase bulls that I think is maybe one of the most underrated bulls we've got in the entire lineup is 250H16490 Ton Lane Acres Lombardi. He's a Delta Lambda son. He's one of the older Lambda available bulls. Came out last year. He's a bull that, to me, creates a new level of excitement with a new cow family that goes back to the Roxys with 3.5 points on type. Top 20 bull in the breed for udder composite at 3.05, positive components, but those really good mastitis scores and calf wellness. So it puts all that combination together. The best part about this cow family is the mother herself. I saw her 2 weeks ago up in northeast Wisconsin. She was fresh 2 weeks and looked amazing. She was about 3.5 weeks fresh early this week when she just went 93 with a 94-point mammary system, fresh virtually less than a month in her 3rd lactation. The next names are very good Dorman and Goldwyn Lockett, and all the way through that fork of the Roxy cow family. A bull that I think is really, if you haven't looked at this bull, take a second look, because there's not a lot of reasons to say no on Lombardi, and I think he does just an outstanding job. The last of the showcase bulls we'll talk about, staying back in the H family again, but when you've got a top 100 proven sire, who's the breed leader for type, he is our second high type bull in our lineup, only to Hancock, same cow family. But in the case of Henons, he went up again on type with now 272 scored. Those great components. People continue to comment on how much they like these Hannon's daughters. He's, again, that mastitis resistance theme that fits within this whole thing. The A2A2BB component of him makes him easy to use no matter what your selection criteria. So when I look at this bull and you look at these scored daughters, and they're from all over the country. The one on the top, I think, is out your way, Rick, at King's Ransom. The one in the middle is at Berklar Farms here in Wisconsin. And then the other one is at Trent way down there. So whether you go East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, this bull's making great cows that people really admire. And with that, let's talk about some proven bulls. But I think we've got a few questions here. Let's get to a couple of these. So I'm just looking here quick. Best bull to breed my con daughters to. I think there's a lot of different options, Daniel. I think if they don't have renegade blood on the bottom side, I think any of the bulls that we just talked about in next gen with these without game day in the pedigree, these Letchworth sons, Shatek, some of those I think are great options. The good news is we've got a lot of diversity. A bull like Easton that we won't talk about today, that just got released from next gen, probably one of the best outcross sires that's out there, and that combination seems to be working pretty well. Secondly, I see Brian Anderson. It's probably tomorrow in Australia already, Brian. And appreciate you watching. Talk about your Parfect daughters. We're glad you love your Parfex. I think he's a generational sire in his own right. And so we're just so pleased that you're happy about those. So it will be good that way. Daniel, I'm going to get back to you on that as far as Holy P coming to the UK, because I'm trying to remember if the UK is in next gen or not, and I probably need to look at a different spot there. But he is going to be in next. I will say this: Holy P is going to be in next gen for a really long time. I will say that with confidence. He's going to be in as long as Parfect was, or Renegade was, or Game Day was. His influence is just massive. So welcome to next gen. We've got a bunch of signups this week already, but Holy P's available, but he's going to be in next gen for a while. And so as we go to the proven sire highlights, 5 of the top 10, I showed you the first part there at the beginning of the presentation. 36 of the top 100 is a high watermark for the last probably couple of years. And so extremely happy with how things went that way. And but Rick, you got a couple. They're pretty exciting.
Yeah, Kevin, and we talk about, why do we talk about proven bulls and their rankings and all of those kind of things, and everyone wants to talk about the 15-month-old calf and how quick can you get semen, but those 15-month-old bulls are only going to live up to what the expectations are if their sires, their parents, their fathers and grandfathers and mothers and grandmothers deliver proven performance to know that those genomic evaluations are real. That's why we have so much confidence in our young program and our futures, because the data continues to substantiate in the real world with true competition that these bulls are going to the top of the population. And that's what we want to know. And that's the confidence we want to have. One of those bulls that stays at the top of the population is Trooper. The bull now is number 5 on the proven TPI list, added over 200 daughters to his evaluation, maintained his lofty ranking. He's a outstanding percent fat and protein bull, a high CFP bull without a lot of water, yet a bull that does a nice job on fertility for both fertility index, DPR, cow conception rate, nice balanced linear profile. I love the cow family behind Trooper. Renegade's done a great job. The legendary Dam, that's 86, the Joe Super, goes back to Mogul Mariah, a cow that's got a lot of international fame. So this cow family, this bull puts it all together. A very important bull as we talk about the young generation. His son is Sheepster. We've got our first Sheepster sons in production stalls right now, eager to start using them as mating sires. We're flushing Sheepster daughters. So the influence of Trooper is only going to expand exponentially through Sheepster and his offspring. But I think just a really exciting bull to start out the day talking about our proven highlights. The second son, when we talk about family matters, and there's a play on word because this is a Matters daughter, the Alexandra cow, a cow that was very important to the art program. And we have several sons of hers that have proven themselves now to be tremendous breed leading bulls and really validated her influence in our program. So family matters. In this Matter daughter, she has given us 3 outstanding sons to focus and highlight on.
He's got the hat trick.
Got the hat trick, exactly. The first of which is Rupert. Rupert's a bull we've talked about for a couple of evaluations now. This is his 4th proof. He's a bull. If I think the first time we talked to you about him, we said, hey, this bull's yield deviations are through the roof. And when his proof catches up to that, he is going to be a breed leading production sire. And that's exactly what he is. 2,100 of milk, 80 pounds of protein, 199 CFP, and plus on DPR. Extraordinary combination, again, to get that extreme protein and plus DPR. Here's a bull. It's A2A2. He's BB, and a bull that's going to add some teat length. Again, a very nice linear profile and does a lot of the right things when it comes to legs, rear view, tracking, mobility, and just the first of 3 really nice sons of the Alexandra Matters cow. The second is a bull that has limited semen availability, but he is the highest of her sons. He is number 4 on the proven TPI list. The Asaku, ASIC, call it what you want. Really good son, really good bull in payload. Payload is another bull just in the same image of Rupert. Big milk, big protein, big CFP, nice linear, good udder composite. And just a bull that has done a really, really nice job for us. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, so we do have about 10,000 units of semen that is being allocated out. So first come, first serve, place your orders today. Fortunately, he's a bull that's going to have a positive influence in our lineup. We have 8 sons of payload. He appears 5 times as a maternal grandsire, including a young bull that we just put on our mating sire list, a con son, that I think is going to do some really good things for us in terms of the next generation. So those are 2 of her sons that have done an exceptionally nice job for us. The third is a new release bull, a Wimbledon son, Agassi. So if you're a tennis fan in America, Agassi is one of the best of our generation. Very different outcross kind of bull here when you see Wimbledon, Matters, Stoic, as all of these bulls are very different and unique in that way. He is a point on udder composite, a high percent fat and protein bull. And again, this family has delivered some outstanding DPR, and he's 2 points there. He's 3.4 in cow conception rate, nearly 4 points on heifer conception. So these cows, these Agassi daughters, know how to get pregnant. They also know how to stay healthy. 104 on zoetis mastitis, 107 on lameness. So 3 sons of a cow that has done a tremendous job for us, and really backfilled that data with the proving that working with her was definitely the right decision.
I agree, Rick, and we've had a lot of really good donors in the art program, but besides Miri, Alexander might be one of my favorites. Phenotypically, she was just a absolutely great cow, lived in the freestalls at GF, and went on to have a great career. So it's just a really, really neat situation of 3 sons from that great cow. But when we talk about family matters again and mothers matter and that stuff, the current global cow of the year just keeps staring back at us and saying, what you got next? What are you going to do? What are you going to try next? And this cow, ironically, has 4 sons being picked up on this load in April. Going to be all showcase bulls. And they're Hanks P sons and they're Hulu sons. And so again, that combination, trying to put those families together, we're doing that. So both the Hank sons are polled and both the Hulu sons are red factored. The cow just continues to crank them out. But she's 2 for 200 proven sons as well. We talked a lot about Parfait, no more need introduction. But her second son was by a Dino son named Town, 7H15-523 Parsley. And so a little different pedigree on the top side. That is what the Ivy League education does for the kid, is he finds some unique bulls sometimes to try some different things, and did that with Parsley. A little different format than Parfait in that he's a higher production bull, higher protein bull, has the same good balance all the way throughout, good udders like you'd expect, the A2A2 BB Kappa casein thing, but he's a little different. They're a little wetter, a little different makeup. But the good news is he's got 193 daughters in his proof already. Jeff Ziegler had mentioned that his phone has been ringing off the hook from producers, very happy with those. And I had another producer tell me yesterday, he goes, give them 60 days. Because as soon as they hit that, you fall in love with him. And he's a breeder that I respect, and so he's milking 6 or 8 of them, and he said this bull's a real deal. So that's exciting in that respect. Next, you got Derringer, Rick.
Yeah, 7H15429 Derringer, and the family matters. Well, it really comes through in this pedigree too, because Derringer's dam is an excellent 90 daughter of Rio. The only way you get an excellent daughter of Rio is if you've got some really good cows behind him, and that's what we have for this D cow family from King's Ransom. Dam's a very good modesty, and then the 93-point King Boy Delicate that you see in the white cow on your screen there. So this is part of the reason we believe in this stuff so much. But here we've got a Big Al son graduating. He is muscle weakness free. He's 2,900 TPI. It puts him in the top 75 of the breed. You'd start to break this bull down, and you really like a lot of the things that he offers, and a lot of the things that we've been preaching. Mastitis resistant, whether it's Zoetis or CDBC, the bull is off the charts and improving that. Caseins, the bull is A2. We look at that linear chart, and we want to dig into that. You know, again, that strength to stature and thorough width ratio are where we want it to be in terms of shorter statured cows without compromising width relative to their stature. Here's a bull, it's 1.7 on other composite. So we don't have our visual effects in here, but we talk about that diagonal kind of linear when it goes from left to right. So smaller on the stature side, but on the plus side from an udder standpoint, this bull fits that mold extremely nicely. So here's a bull that when you really stack it all up from a great cow family, proven performance, pretty excited to have this bull on our active lineup and do a lot of the things that breeders around the world are looking for in terms of diagonal linear, stature to width ratio, and outstanding mastitis resistance.
Well, the good news is it doesn't matter what color we're in, we're going to have a lot of success. And one of the bulls that I didn't have to rush to the screen to figure out whether he was going to be part of our lineup or not was the bull on the screen, 7H15427, Trentway Rompin Red. Usually there's not a lot of sure bets in this business, and Rick and I both try to stay out of the prognostication business. I had a proofs because it's usually a futile effort, but I was highly confident that this bull was going to re-enter the proven lineup as a proven bull or remain, so to speak, but as a proven bull. Top 10 red bull to breed. Certainly one of the most unique combinations with that high production at 1465, 2 on type, 2 on udders. That ranks him right near the top of the breed. This cow family has done just amazing things. The fact that you see the udders on these cows, these Sire Altuve, and they're from coast to coast. The one on the top is at Trent's. The one in the middle is out in California at Johnny Machado's, and then you make whether they're red or black, they've been fantastic. And the one that's in the bottom of the screen there is at Verclair Farms, big commercial dairy right out here in Fond du Lac. Beautiful herd of cows, but they love the Rompins as well. So a bull that we used as a sire father, bulls like Fireball, they're having a big influence, settling in the Showbox program. So we were really excited that Rompin was going to move back to active service, and he did very, very well. And so we're very happy about him. But we also have some red highlights that are red factored for the next generation, and that's a bull you're going to talk about, Rick. Oh, one more thing. Here is Red Girl. She is now excellent. When you put this cow and Ronald's mother side by side on an international tour in the stall barn, people just get blown away with these mature cows that have worn so well in their 5th and 6th lactation.
Yeah, Kevin, an exciting new red carrier bull here, 7H17141 OCD Letchworth Streamline. So this bull is a red carrier bull. He's one of the highest ranked net merit TPI red factor bulls that are going to be available in the population this time. He's a bull, gives us a little something different. So one of the things we have to do is bounce back and forth and improving the red breed using some black and white genetics. We got fortunate here using Letchworth. On a red cow, we knew we'd get a red factor bull. We'd hope we get one genetically relevant, and we did. Streamline is a bull we've used as a mating sire to produce red sons now for the next generation. He's 1,300 pounds of milk. He's solid on type, nice linear. As I said, a really good net merit. Red factor bull, low somatic cell, good mastitis resistance. And, you know, Kevin, we just saw this bull's dam a few weeks ago. We don't always agree with the number on the classification score. She's a really good red cow, a tremendous uddered cow, a wide, deep, powerful kind of a cow that I'm pretty confident that classification score is going to improve as she gets a few more times to run in front of the classifier. But a nice new addition here to really kind of push the population forward and streamline.
And when it comes to Mothers Matter, again, going to come back to Trentway. I'm going to talk about Parfect one more time. And that is this Parfect daughter here on the screen, I think is one of the most genetically relevant Parfect daughters on planet Earth. Going to be the #1 Red Factor cow probably again this time when those rankings come out. This is Trentway SA. She's 87 and going to have a huge influence, like all these that we've talked about already with 6, 7 sons. But SA's first son to come to the market was just released here in March. Is 7H17155 exclusive red. This network son out of SA herself, and whether it's a professional picture or just her standing out in the hayfield, just a cow that you really have to admire. And then an Altuve, again, from a different fork of the Roxy cow family. This isn't Ronald's family per se. It's through a different fork that goes back through a mogul, back to the Roxys. But a bull at 29.40, right near the top of the charts. He's in the top 10 of the breed for red bulls on TPI and net merit and HHP, those exceptional fertility and fitness traits. So when you can get positive fertility values, good productive life, then 2 points on type in A2, he clicks a lot of boxes, and we're really excited about exclusive. Have used him as a sire father extensively. There's several more brothers that both red factored and red themselves that are going to be coming in the next several months. She's got a red factored Hulu son that's on the truck this time to get picked up. So there's some very exciting things from this cow family. But as we go down the home stretch here, we just got some highlights of G-Force. And again, when you've got a great day, there's just a lot of good to talk about. But for the top 10, just like in the Proven Bulls, and 65 of the top 200, that's a high watermark for us in quite a while as well. And you can see why with what we've mentioned all day. But just some really exciting G-Force bulls that are readily available to everybody. And Rick, I'm going to let you take the first couple.
Yeah, well, these first two have something in common, and that's the sire in Hayek, however you want to say it, a Taos son. Taos had a big day for us, and so a lot of his grandsons had big days for us as well. And then, of course, game day on the bottom side. 7H16966 Sanborn, bull from Oakfield Corners, from an 83-point game day. The cow you see on the screen is the Grand Dam. That happens to be Sheepster's Dam. She is now excellent 90 with a 91-point mammary. This was her picture in second lactation. We saw her just a few weeks ago, fresh now for the third time. She hasn't changed a nickel from what she looks like here. One of my all-time favorite bull mothers without any question. So we've got the strength of Sheepster's cow family here in Sanborn. A bull that's 3,200 TPI, a big 190 CFP, 193 CFP, and again, plus on DPR. High mastitis resistance. We're getting that from Taos at extreme protein and yet positive DPR. Extremely hard to come by. Then you look at the linear. This is a bull that I firmly and confidently believe is going to sire width, is going to sire strength, is going to sire substance. We saw that in his game day mother. She is a freight train of a cow, a wide, deep-bodied milk truck kind of a cow that I like, and she's got a really deep udder cleft and a milky udder on her too. So we're seeing what this cow family is going to deliver in Sanborn. And he's A2 on top of that. So I think this is a bull that's going to find his way into a lot of tanks, or certainly should, based on the cow family, the genetic characteristics, and the pedigree. He's got a full brother that's a tad bit younger that we're using quite heavily as a mating sire now, and I'm sure we'll be talking about him come August. So a cow family that continues to do some really, really special things for us in Sanborn. Exciting new bull into G-Force. Another Hake son out of a game day, 14H16836 Dryden. Here's a bull very, very similar to Sanborn. You see those big mastitis resistant scores, low somatic cell, 180 CFP, let's call it 2 on udder composite. Again, extremely hard to come by. He's break even on DPR, plus 1-2 on cow conception rate. So the right kind of fertility indexes when it comes to that, in conjunction with outstanding production. He's an A2 sire, a bull that had a really good day. And Kevin, I don't know what it is. We like to maybe antagonize. Seems like every presentation we put a cow up there, a dam who's 77 points, and maybe we just like to get people talking. But I know in December we talked about a bull named Endear, whose dam was 77 points, and lo and behold, she's now very good 85. A couple years ago, we talked about Chu P, whose dam was 76 or 7 points, who's now very good 85. So we've got a lot of confidence in the cow families we're working in. You mentioned Super Sire Miri. She's on the screen there. It's a cow that has done extraordinarily really well for us and transmitting some really solid type. And Dryden is certainly a bull that we're very excited about what he's going to offer with all those things we highlighted on the screen.
Well, one that they didn't miss, and or I'm not saying they did miss, cows change. I want to be clear there, so that my classifier contingency friends don't yell at me again. But a bull that has a amazing mother is 258, 16, 979 Sandy Valley Tintastic. This bull, highly anticipated, one of the most in-demand bulls we've had since his release. You look at a bull like him with that much cage, that much width and strength as a young bull. What an impressive individual, and his mother is as well. And we talked about Taos through Hayek. Well, we've got Taos on the bottom side of this holy smoke sun, and her name is Tencel. She just got scored a very good 88 first lactation here just a week or so ago at Seymour's Holsteins. You look at the udder on this cow, and I was there the day that photo was taken. And I mean, she's just a sweetheart. She's one of their favorite cows. And then a Timberlake behind that goes back to the Cosmopolitan cow family again that Sandy Valley had invested in. A bull that, when you combine the high type, beautiful linear, 187 CFP, and 1,500 pounds of milk, again, it clicks a lot of boxes internationally, incredibly popular as well in being in the Generations product line. But a bull that just, if you love great mothers on the bulls you use, this one's got a great mother, and I think it's got a really, really bright future and fantastic. Another one that goes back to a great family and probably started Bomaz about 6 or 7 generations ago is 14H17156 Pitchfork. A George Miller son, so you could expect him to be a high HHP bull, and he is. He's in the top 10 HHP bulls of the breed at 1390. His mother's an 86-point Acura. I just saw her again up at Bomaz in January, wearing well, looks great. The next day, I'm an 86-point Medley. And as you take it back to this cow family, they had a cow named Valiant Pizza back in the 1980s. And this goes all the way back to that maternal line. 196 pounds of combined fat protein in, and again, that plus on DPR. But Robot Pro designated, Mastitis Resistance Pro, plus on calf wellness dollars, right casings. Been a bull we use as a sire fodder because of his HHP values, but I think a bull that can fit in a lot of breeding programs, just traditional select bloodlines, this bull should work really, really well.
Yeah, my last bull today, we talked a little bit about Holy P early on and kind of the polled revolution that's occurring within our program. And 14H17133 Madrid P is another bull that's really going to add to that polled population. A Cirrus P son out of another game day that's now very good 85, another cow that we saw and absolutely loved after seeing her. Kind of told Jonathan and Adam and Alicia, hey, we need to use a little more Madrid P as a mating sire after seeing this, and they did go back and do that for us. So we're excited about the Madrid P sons coming. High percent fat bull, again, mastitis resistance, A2, nearly 2 points on udder composite. So again, a very highly competitive polled bull to the horn population, and a great cow family behind him, and a readily available in G-Force, a sire father caliber type of bull. I think was going to catch notice to a lot of people out there looking to breed polled cattle, but not willing to give up anything genetically. This bull, you're going to find him. If you want polled, you're going to find this bull, and rest assured, barely 15 months of age, already going into the marketplace, and be rest assured that his mother will not disappoint when you get a chance, if you ever get a chance to see her. I like her, and I like her a lot.
And you look at this bull, Rick, he fits probably more designations than any other bull we've talked about all day. I was saying to you earlier, plugged in my matings for this week this morning, trying to get caught up. Almost 70% of my matings this week were to polled bulls, and they were to the bulls we've talked about today. Madrid, Holy P, Haliant P, Howland P, whoops, I probably shouldn't. We'll talk about him in August. But as I said earlier, this polled revolution is a real thing, and the good news is I think they're just as competitive in that. And now that we're increasing the gene frequency in the population, I think there's a lot of really good to come. I'm going to finish up with a couple of Esquire sons. Esquire, again, another Tau son that's done so well with a marvelous mother in Sandy Valley, Escanaba. But 258 17108 Esco is an Esquire son from an 84-point Conway. Great young cow up at T Spruce at 3154, and that's high milk, high type, high udder composite, right casings, but a bull that's at 1200 HHP. Again, this bull fits kind of the future direction, but he's got that. You don't have to give up if you're a type conscious breeder that wants the right kind of linear. This bull has the traits, but still fits the HHP designation. The thing that I find amazing about this bull in this cow family, the next name is Lionel Lass, and she was a sister to Legacy and out of the Yoder that we started out with when we were talking about some of the bulls early in the presentation. That's Phoenix. It's all the bulls we've talked about all day, including this bull Eskel. And I found this picture on my phone yesterday in the bottom right. I took a picture of this cow in her 4th lactation at T Spruce, running around in the free stalls. And she's just worn like iron. I talked to Arnie yesterday. The cow is nearly going to make 200,000 a lifetime in this lactation. She is fresh for her 6th calf. Had a long interval between her 1st and 2nd. When they purchased the cow, they did a lot of IVF. But the last 4 or 5 years, she's just lived in the freestalls, and she thrives. And I can't help but think that's why Game Day is doing what he's doing. It's why these bulls continue to come to the forefront, because that cow wears like iron. And I think just an incredibly popular bull here with a beautiful linear. The other Esquire son I want to talk about, we'll swing back to the type side just here to finish up today. But 7H17163 Esquire Hayes, bred by the Have It All Syndicate, out of one of the Parfex, out of Doc. But one of our highest G-force production sires at 2277 a milk, 75 pounds of protein, with great mastitis resistance, the right casings, and 2 points on type. This isn't a showcase son from Doc, but this is a bull this is the beauty again of a cow like Doc that can be a Swiss Army knife and go in several different directions and serve multiple markets. I think is really, really significant. So this bull just released to the marketplace, but I think at that 2,200 of milk and 2 points on type and 75 of protein, those are pretty rare. And again, another bull that does the right kind of things when it comes to teat placement and teat length. And we know that there's people that are continually asking for those values as well. So he has some teat length. And then I want to finish with another one from Doc, and a good place to finish there. Our friends Mike and Tim at Showbox Sires recently released 7844 16956 Tattoo Hendricks, a bull that I think is very, very special. I had begged Mike forever to use Tattoo on Doc. We got this great son that's positive milk, 293 N type, beautiful linear profile. And so wanted to finish with a bull like this to give Mike and Tim a shout out. Additionally, there's Tattoo is no longer with us. He's moved out of this lineup. There's just a little bit of semen left. So I think Hendricks comes along at an appropriate time. If you loved your Tattoo daughters, now you can move on to this Tattoo out of Doc himself. So that's kind of where we ended today. Rick, we got about 10 minutes faster than normal. I see a couple more questions here. From Sachin in India. I got your question as far as bull parades. I think the last one we actually did was our sales conference in 2022, and we had broadcast that one. I think it's more just a matter of time and resources last year of getting out to Ohio and doing a bull parade. and visualizing that. We continue to utilize the ring for groups that come individually. We just haven't videoed one in a while. My suspicion is we'll get another bull parade out to you here in 2024. I was just through the barns about a month ago when I was out at headquarters. I'll say this: there's a lot of bulls in the Calgary Center that can go outside and be seen. So I think we'll look forward to that and doing that. And again, we welcome any other questions. But Rick, you got any parting shots? We'll see if we get any more questions.
No, we certainly thank everyone for listening in, whether it's live or if you're listening to this later on in the night or evening or next day or next week. Great all-around proof for Select Sires. Couldn't be more happy and thrilled. Like I say, it's the same amount of work whether you have a good day or a bad day on proof day, so it makes it a little bit easier. But I think you would agree we've both got a lot more hours of work left to do to get everything put back together and operational until we do it all again in August. So
absolutely. So again, appreciate your time and attention. Look forward to talking to you again in August. But thanks again for watching, and have a great day.